In this video, I have finally hit around 10,000 miles on my 2023 Tesla Model Y, and I wanted to celebrate by measuring its efficiency. How many kilowatt hours per mile have I used? That's number one. That would be the efficiency of the EV. And also two, I wanted to measure how much cost per mile does it cost to run the Tesla. I've owned the Tesla for about 8 months, from December 2022 to July of 23. And I was at 10,004 miles when I ran this analysis. I know this is really geeking it out, but if you're into efficiency, I'm hoping you'll love this. I used 3 different ways to measure efficiency. One, using trip apps, which yielded 267 watt-hours per mile. Method 2 was using the Tesla app charging stats on my iPhone. That was at 369. And method 3 was adjusting the data for the electric bills, and I arrived at 390. Let me explain what I did. Method 1, Trips app. I used the Trips app on my touchscreen in the Tesla. You click on the icon for Trips, and in that app, you'll see several key data points, notably that my car used total energy of 2,673 kilowatt hours to drive 10,004 miles. So the average energy usage is 267 watt-hours per mile, which is shown right there on the app. I confirmed this energy usage by manually calculating it myself by dividing energy used by the miles driven and then multiplying it by 1,000 to switch from kilowatt hours per mile to watt-hours per mile. You will see that this has the highest efficiency or lowest watt-hours per mile, and that was associated with this first method, the Trips app. I believe that is because it only tracks energy usage during driving time and does not factor in energy used when parked, such as for Sentry mode or for preconditioning the car. The second method I used was the Tesla app on my phone, where there is an option to check charging stats. The charging stats for my Tesla indicated that I used a much larger amount of energy, 3,692 kilowatt hours over the same time period, driving the same miles. This equated to 369 watt-hours per mile. That's 38% higher than the Trips app data. I believe this is because these charging stats count all the charging on the Tesla, which include energy used by the battery when parked, such as for Sentry mode and preconditioning. So 38% is a pretty high delta. I guess those features use a lot of energy. Another feature that's interesting with these charging stats is that it splits the energy and cost estimates by home, supercharger, work, and other. It also makes some assumptions for electricity costs and gasoline costs, and it shows that the app estimates that I spent $904 to drive those 10,000 miles, and that a gas equivalent car would have cost $1,804. That's $900 in savings. Those gasoline figures used monthly data for average cost per gallon for gasoline in Massachusetts, which seems to me to be using premium data, and that ranged from $4.20 to as high as $4.44 in the app. It also assumes a efficiency for the gas car of 20 miles per gallon for the gasoline vehicle. You can change the assumptions on the cost of gasoline or the efficiency of the gas car comparison, so you can arrive at higher or lower numbers for comparison. So for example, I used a similar 25 miles per gallon assumption, but I varied the cost per gasoline, and I got the following cost figures. $3 gasoline would cost $1,200, $3.50 gasoline yielded $1,400, $4 gasoline yielded $1,600, and then $4.50 gasoline yielded $1,800 to drive 10,000 miles. That's very close to what the app shows. The third method that I used to calculate my efficiency was to look at my electric bills for the last 8 months and compare those kilowatt hours used and dollars spent with the same 8 months from the prior year to show the delta year over year. This analysis of electric bills indicated that I used 3,354 more kilowatt hours and spent 1,009 more dollars than the prior year. Note that I'm assuming that nothing else changed in my electricity usage, and I'm also assuming that the only reason that my electricity usage and bills went up was because I was now charging the Tesla at home. Once I had this data, I adjusted the home energy usage and the home energy cost assumptions, but kept the same supercharging, work, and other assumptions from method 2, and I arrived at an efficiency of 390 watt-hours per mile, which is even higher than method 2. This approach may be capturing some extra electricity usage from activities like Sentry and preconditioning while plugged in. In my opinion, from what I understand, being plugged in allows the Tesla to use electricity directly from the grid and not from its battery, so that would explain some extra cost or extra energy usage that's not getting captured by the charging stats in the Tesla app. So here are the efficiency numbers that I got for the 3 methods. Method 1, Trips app yielded 267 watt-hours per mile. Method 2, the Tesla app charging stats, yielded 369. And then the final method, method 3, where the adjustment from electric bills yielded 390 watt-hours per mile. I then made several assumptions to estimate the cost data associated from each method. The method number 2, which is the Tesla app charging stats, was the easiest because it already gave me calculations and indicated that I used $904 for 10,000 miles, or 9 cents per mile. The Trips app does not show cost, but however, if I just multiply the average cost per kilowatt hour for method 2, I can arrive at a cost per mile of 7 cents per mile. This reflects the lower energy used for method 1. Again, this is lower because it only calculates energy used during driving, not parking. And the final method 3, the electric bill assumption to home usage and home cost, indicated that I had spent $1,191 of additional electricity. That includes home electricity, supercharging, work, and other. This resulted in 12 cents per mile. So you can compare all these costs to the cost of the hypothetical gasoline car, which, according to the Tesla app, would have cost $1,800, or around 18 cents per mile. Which number is best to look at? All of these numbers are good and bad in my opinion. You just have to understand what each of them represent, and it helps you understand the efficiency of your car. And the efficiency of your car would also probably vary depending on how you drive. I probably drive slower and more cautious than some others. If you have a Tesla, what's your efficiency and how did you measure it? Please share any friendly comments with me, any friendly tips. I'd love to hear from you. And more importantly, I'd just love to compare efficiency numbers with everyone. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please click like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. This is part of my Tesla playlist, and I've got other videos on my channel which you may enjoy. Check them out. Thanks for watching.